Yo, did you see reparations are finally being paid? Hell,
What are you talking about?
reparations, bro. Like, they're really coming. If you are an employee of the company Spanx, did you see over the weekend, or maybe this is like, I don't know, they had some party. I guess there's like a financial milestone that the Spanx company met recently. And so to commemorate and to celebrate that financial milestone, the CEO of Spanx surprised like 500 plus employees at this party that each of them are getting a first class flight ticket to anywhere they want in the world. 500 plus employees. No, 50 plus? No, it's 500 plus. I'm so serious.
Round trip?
Plus, yes. First class round trip to wherever they want in the world. And then she goes, and I understand that, when you guys go there, you're going to need spending money. So each of you are going to get $10,000. Son, reparations are being paid. Y'all just don't know. We just don't know where to go to get it. You got to go work for Spanx, baby. We taking Spanx to the top.
That's not no real reparations.
I'm about to fit my black ass in some Spanx. Don't worry. Look, those are kind of like boys' board shorts in a sense. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of compression shorts. Do they make Spanx for guys?
I do some video for Spanx, but I'm not about to wear no Spanx.
Okay,
absolutely.
But
not.
would you wear some Spanx if you got a first class ticket around the world and $10,000? Would you wear some Spanx? Be honest.
It's crazy. I still think I would say no, because am I wearing those for like an ad or a commercial, or am I just doing this?
You just gotta wear them on like. You gotta wear them on a Friday. Oh no, on a night out with me. We gonna go in LA. We just going on a night out in LA.
I'm good.
No, bro, come on. But you get 10,000 cash at the end of it.
That's tough.
Okay, look.
LA. I don't live in LA, so that's the thing. It's like I would never see those people again.
So I mean, it's worth a gamble, right?
I don't know.
The only person you might see is because I'm going to go to one of the clubs that I know LeBron likes going to.
Oh, I'm not doing it.
And by the time that I have the money to put up for you to do this challenge, I'll highly likely know someone in this camp. So I'll be like, oh, is he for sure at Avalon tonight? Cool. I'm going to go with the birthday boy. It's going to be around your birthday next year. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to go for the birthday boy. You're stupid.
Unfiltered Just Podcast. What's good, world? My name is Malcolm Alexander.
I am Ryan Hale. What's going on, y'all?
I have to ask, bro. These look. Well, you got to look. Don't answer the question. You have a whole podcast to decide. Okay. I want you to no.
Trust me. I don't need that long to decide.
I want you to think hard about this, Hale. Okay.
It's going to be a no now and a no then, but I'll give you that no again later.
Remind me to follow up. Okay. How was your weekend first?
It was pretty good, man. Pretty good. I just worked. Had a shoot that I had to do yesterday. And yeah, just relaxed, worked, caught up on some shows that I was watching, Insecure, which we'll get into later on. The premiere came out, was dope. NBA season kicked off this week, which was cool. So yeah, man, and shout out to my Arizona Cardinals, 7-0 now.
Hello,
on the way to the Super Bowl, baby.
Oh,
on our way,
7-0. The Cardinals are 7-0.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know what? I'm about to start watching the Cardinals game.
No, you good.
I'm about to start watching it. Come on, let's go, Larry Fitzgerald.
All of a sudden, we're gonna start losing. Larry Fitzgerald's not even playing.
Why not? Why is he not playing?
I don't know. He hasn't technically retired yet.
Good old fashioned racism. Exactly. Okay. So look.
Yep. Yeah, that's another. Don't watch a game. Please don't watch a game. You're gonna be messing us all up. Just your energy's off. Your spirit's off.
Your spirit's off. I'm sorry. You ain't got the winning spirit for us this season, Malcolm. I'm sorry. You go up to bandwagon on the next season.
Yeah, cheer for somebody I don't like. Cheer for the Rams. I can't stand it.
And technically, they my team. I'm supposed to like the Rams.
Cheer for them. Perfect.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna remain unbiased in the world of the NFL. I'm Team Super Bowl as per usual. I'm here for the performances, and if it's not Kendrick Lamar or Dr. Dre, I'll cheer for the cheerleaders. I'll be like, fuck it, look, let's go team. I'm look at that choreography. They kill it at the halftime performance right now. Oh, dude, I love a good cheer competition. Okay, y'all. That's actually, I'm not gonna lie, that is a teaser to what my Halloween costume is gonna be.
Oh. Interesting. I'm kind of concerned, but yeah. So how was your weekend? We'll just skip right past that.
My weekend was really look. Just what you go to on the next episode. I promise you. This weekend was amazing. I rounded out after doing. I just feel like I didn't even really get a break last week. I mean, we did the show together last week when I was in Phoenix. Got back from Phoenix Wednesday, super late at night, rested a little bit Thursday, did open mic Thursday, had a wedding from a man, Corey, on Friday, did another wedding on Saturday up in Beverly Hills, and then all day yesterday I attempted to sleep until my little brother went to come over, and he's like, come on, let's catch up because we haven't chilled in a while. And so then he came over, and then we worked out and went shopping for a friend because it was her birthday. Then we ended up at a bonfire. And then, of course, we all met at my sister's house and had a big old watch party for Insecure.
Dope.
But what I will say is, as of the time that you're hearing this podcast, it will be announced who the DJs for Capacity Long Beach will be. So no one knows. And if you are listening to the podcast right now, then you're going to know that on the lineup, myself, Malcolm Alexander, will be DJing. Long Beach King, I mean, he's shutting it down now with his Soul Roll events. If some of you are familiar with M. Aurelius, esteemed producer, DJ, artist extraordinaire. Also, we'll have the DJ duo, Pilot Jones, my ladies Kaylin and Noma. They're holding it down. And they're just crazy. They're just killers here in LA, them collectively.
Yeah.
And then we have special guest. Okay, this is a turntablist extraordinaire. I mean, I'm talking Red Bull finalist with the turntablist. I'm talking he's a beat junkie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm talking this man is pivotal to what the craft of DJing is. He's also like a teacher with it. He's a father. He's just out here, and he holds it down right here locally in Long Beach, California. So our special guest on 11/11, give it up, my man, DJ Dynamics. So that is our lineup, and I'm super excited. That's how I rounded out my weekend, getting all that kind of approved. And so tickets on sale now, capacitydanceparty.com. And I'm just super pumped for what's to come. And more than anything, I'm excited to get this show started with you today, man. So let's do it.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Unfiltered Gems, welcome to the podcast. Julius Jones has been on death row in Oklahoma for 19 years for a 1999 murder who's always said he had no part in. Mr. Jones, who was represented by federal attorneys Dale Bach, I believe, and Amanda Bass, was convicted and sentenced to death at the age of 19 and has now spent half his life in prison, waiting to be executed for a crime that new and compelling evidence suggests he did not commit.
Crazy. More than 6.3 million people and counting have signed a petition supporting Mr. Jones in his fight to prove his innocence in the killing of Paul Howe, a business person in Edmond, Oklahoma.
Despite this, Oklahoma's Attorney General requested that Mr. Jones's execution be scheduled for October 28th. His is one of 7 execution dates requested by the state to be carried out in the next 6 months. If approved, they will be the first executions to take place in Oklahoma since 2015, after a series of botched executions resulted in a statewide moratorium.
Wow. Julius Jones was at home having dinner with his parents and sister at the time of the murder. However, his legal team failed to present his alibi at his original trial. His trial attorneys did not call Mr. Jones or his family members to the stand.
Mr. Jones did not match the description of the person who committed the crime, which was provided by a sole eyewitness. The person who killed Mr. Howell was described as having 1 to 2 inches of hair, but Jones had shaved his head.
Yeah, and a man named Christopher Jordan matched the eyewitness's hair description, but claimed only to have been the getaway driver and not the shooter at the trial. He was the state's star witness who testified against Mr. Jones.
In exchange for testifying that Mr. Jones was the shooter, Mr. Jordan was given a plea deal for his alleged role as the getaway driver, air quotes. He served 15 years in prison, and today he is free.
Yeah, 3 people incarcerated with Mr. Jordan at different times have said in sworn affidavits that Mr. Jordan told each of them that he committed the murder and framed Mr. Jones. None of these 3 men have met Mr. Jones, and they do not know one another. And none of them have been offered a shorter sentence or incentive in exchange for disclosing Mr. Jordan's confessions.
So what's the larger impact here? Mr. Howell, a white man, was killed in a predominantly white neighborhood. Immediately, then, District Attorney Bob Macy characterized the crime as an act of violence committed by black men fueled by drugs. This narrative was perpetuated by the media coverage of it all.
That's correct. And the officer who arrested Mr. Jones called him the N-word and dared him to run, and then implied that he would shoot him if he did.
11 out of the 12 jurors at Mr. Jones's trial were white, and one juror referred to Mr. Jones by the N-word and suggested that he be taken out behind the courthouse and shot.
1/3 of the District Attorney Macy's death penalty convictions have been overturned due to man, I can't even talk right now. Prosecutorial.
Yes.
Yes, misconduct. Many of those convictions were vacated. Many of those convictions that were vacated were for black people. And to date, 10 people sentenced to death in murder cases in Oklahoma have been exonerated.
Mr. Jones, at the time of recording this podcast and at the time of this podcast being released, will have his first and only chance to make a case for his innocence. That's this Tuesday, October 26th at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. This is a story that I want to use this platform, and I know I speak for Hale and everyone that works on the UG team. We want to use this platform to bring a lot of light to this story. This represents the same narrative time and time again of wrongfully convicted people going to jail or even worse. Mr. Jones has every credible alibi to prove his innocence, yet this is going to be his first and his only time, as I previously stated. So you might want to know, how can you help right now? Because yeah, at the time of this recording, we don't know. It's looking like very grim. They've been painting the story of where he is right now, and he is pretty much being held in like a physical space that he can see, like in the next room over, where he could potentially die within even a day of us recording this podcast.
It's crazy.
Again, completely wrongfully convicted, and we want to know, where is the governor of Oklahoma? And there's a lot of skeletons in the closet as far as the governor of Oklahoma and why he's not speaking up. There have been incredible people on the ground that have been protesting outside of the governor's home, outside of the courthouse where this hearing will be happening. You guys can go to Instagram, Justice for Julius. There's a beautiful 2020 special, The Last Defense for Julius Jones. It's like an ABC special edition. There's also a Change.org petition, Julius Jones is innocent, don't let him be executed by the state of Oklahoma. All resources that we'll put in the show notes that you guys can access in order to best help. But I mean, we were talking about this even before we started recording, Hale, and Sarah was like, well, how else can we help? Like, this can happen time and time and time again. Like, signing a petition doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I think
so. It seems like I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts? I wanted to give people, to really open up this segment and give people the straight facts, right? Because you can clearly see, if this is a white man, this would not be happening.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing that I feel like we should do, and the people of Oklahoma should do, outside of, like you said, the petitions and checking out change.org and the Innocence Project and different things like that, is call for the district attorney's job. If 1/3 of his convictions, death penalty convictions, are getting overturned, most of those being for black people, and all of this stuff that are, like you mentioned, skeletons in the closet of the governor, but there's skeletons in his closet as well.
100%.
We need to call for his job. That's the way that we start making change in the state government, in the city government, the local government, which is more impactful to us as citizens than the presidential election. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those local officials are what we really need to lock in on and see who is making those decisions, who is putting people in jail wrongly or rightfully, and stuff like that. So I think if they move that man out of office and start getting the right people in there, that will be the first domino that needs to fall. Because I think taking out the governor is going to be a little too hard. But I think taking out somebody like the DA would be the first move that I would make if I was a leader in Oklahoma.
You know, and of course, this is going to be all a process. You know, nothing happens overnight, which is, you know, the reality that all of this, that all of this faces at the end of the day. But this is unbelievable. It's
sad.
It's sad. It is. I don't know. I really didn't have words as I dived into this story. It's not even me speaking slowly because I'm going to choose my words carefully. It's like it's just really hard, man. I think it's one of those stories that, like, oh, sorry. I mean, like, go ahead. It's just one of those.
No, I'm sorry.
It really makes me sad because this is still the world we live in, and I think what makes me even sadder is that this is just one example of it happening that people can see. Even a lot of the people involved in this case, whether DA or governor, we mentioned the skeletons in the closet, have terrible prosecutorial procedure all across their resume.
Mm-hmm.
As per usual, this has been a very privileged white boys club as far as how the law is catered to these people in the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I think what's even sadder to me, and black people know this all too well, sadly, is when we see stuff like this, we can put ourselves in those positions or in those people's shoes, because that could happen to us. Like, we live in a world today which is huge in social media, but back then social media wasn't as huge then. I mean, what, 20 something years ago, social media wasn't as big as it is now. So imagine if we were back then and his story wasn't being amplified as it is now through social media. You know what I mean? So much could have changed. Like, nowadays, it would be hard to convict somebody with the alibi and all that stuff because of social media alone. Like, we've got so many stories that Kim Kardashian and big celebrities have picked up via social media and have used their power to overturn some of those cases. So it's just sad that man, he had an alibi. He was at dinner with his family and they just picked him up because they said, quote unquote, he matched some random description.
I mean, if there's any light that I can bring to this, it was really cool because one of the people on his legal team, they were painting the picture of who he was and painting his alibi, saying where he was at the time on the Higher Learning podcast with Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay. And he was saying, oh yeah, he definitely doesn't fit the description because he had just got a fade and like hit his, like, and they were just speaking to the humanity of who this guy was. Facts. I mean, and even while inside, he's remained an inspiration to his family. He's remained like the pivotal motivational force behind them. He loves sports and he loves coaching. And like, I guess one of the main things that he told his sister was like, nah, this is the fourth quarter. This is my time. This is my time to shine. I've been building up 19 years ready for this moment. And we're like, we can subjectively look at this as like so sad or so traumatic. He's ready for this. Yeah. So that's true. I don't have much else. Yeah. I don't have much else on this story. I'll be very honest, y'all. But if there's anything I can do, y'all gotta please raise hell with the governor of Oklahoma, with the DA of Oklahoma. Julius Jones is just one of many wrongfully convicted people that are locked up right now, and not just locked up, on death row. Cannot let it happen anymore. So praise God for the legal team of Julius Jones. Praise God for his family and for his friends and people impacted. And again, if you want to do anything, if there's anything that you guys can do, start with Instagram, start with a petition, and then guys, dive in, do your research, figure out who this man was. And God willing, by the time that you're hearing this podcast, Julius Jones gets to live a free man. And if not even that, gets to live another day. Yeah. Another story I got to bring to you that is a little bit lighter, just lightly lighter, but
barely,
but just a little lighter, because I'm going to do what I can to bring light to this, because it's not exactly involving anyone dying potentially, but it does deal with beyond unsanitary conditions at one of our most esteemed HBCUs in the country, who over the weekend celebrated. I mean, if Coachella already wasn't a big music festival, then in HBCU canon, Howard Homecoming is Coachella for them. For black students and black alumni to come together. One day I'm gonna make it to Howard Homecoming, but what I will not do is be staying in their dormitory.
Yeah, can't do that.
I don't know if anyone has dived in to the happenings of the Blackburn, I believe it's Blackburn dormitory, at Howard University, where for the past 2 weeks, students have been leading protests and sit-ins at their school's dormitory because of what they're calling beyond unsanitary and unlivable conditions in the Howard University. I mean, I'm talking there's no working bathrooms. The walls have mold inside of them. And this is just all for people to get a degree. How do you feel about this? Do you think they're being too sensitive? Do you think that, like, I hate to ask, do you think that students deserve safe and sanitary? Because I'm trying to understand the argument to this and why nothing is happening sooner. So maybe I'm asking these kind of questions because there's somebody in the administration, multiple people in the administration, that clearly see this not as a dire need, because not only this is not new, Hale. This has been happening at Howard for over a decade,
which is sad, especially because all that money that's been coming to HBCUs over the last few years. Where's that money going? That's one question that I want to know. And then another question that I hate to say, because I hate pulling race and a lot of stuff, but this would have never happened at a predominantly white school.
And why do you say that? Because I
can't imagine this happening at ASU. I can't imagine it. Can't even fathom.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Alma Mater is not devoid of its own racial reckonings and its own dealing with racism.
But I know dang well that they would have had some well working water, and we wouldn't have had no mold in them dorms. I know for a fact that would have never happened.
Well, and not just that. Let's say that it happened, right? And let's say that it was at a dorm, and let's just say it was at a dorm that had predominantly black students.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I'm trying to grapple with, right? Because it would have been turned into a race issue if it happened at a PWI.
Mm-hmm.
And something would have changed so quickly, just that way the institution's image could be protected.
Oh, absolutely.
What's happening is that this is happening at an HBCU, and no one sees it as an issue. Like, that's what's wild to me, is that no one sees it as an issue if it's at an HBCU, and if it's like, oh, black people are in the administration as black students.
Mm-hmm.
No, if this was happening at a PWI, the Reverend Al Sharpton would have been down there making a case for why this is unjust, but why there's no civil, like there's no civility to it. Like,
right.
This would have been on CNN, would have been on 60 Minutes, would have been a whole thing about black students at PWIs if this would have happened at ASU or any other publicly wide institution, right? But this happened at HBCU, and we can just say, because again, this has been happening for 10 years.
Oh, that's sad. Oh,
that's sad. That's really unfortunate.
Bro, but what's crazy is, like you said, they had homecoming over the weekend. I would love to dive into the budget for homecoming, the budget for the celebrities that they brought in, all that stuff. Because I
saw they had bad performance, as they always do. Even DJ Envy was up there selling cars, talking about Carcella, doing DJ Envy thing. And y'all got students that can't even live in their damn dorms.
Yep, homecoming should have been canceled until they got that together. Because there's no way. Where's all the money going? You're getting millions and millions of dollars over these past few years from the president that I don't speak of, who was just in office. He had money coming in.
He definitely did donate money to HBCUs.
So there's a lot of money that's coming into Howard specifically. Where's that money going? That's my question. What's going on? And then I saw another thing. I think it was on Essence. They wrote an article on this talking about how the students and some faculty members and alumni are no longer to be on the board of trustees there. So all of the board of trustees now are unelected people who don't have to answer to anybody. They don't have to ask for anybody's opinions. They're just making decisions how they see fit. So that's the issue right there.
I mean, and what the students are demanding is not a lot by any means.
Can we just get some fresh water? Can I just get a wall with no mold on it?
They're saying in their demands, right? They would like one in-person town hall with President Frederick and administration scheduled before the end of October. 2, they'd like to reinstate all affiliate trustee positions, students, faculty, and alumni, on the board of trustees with voting power. And number 3, they want the president and chairman of the board to propose a meeting with student leadership outlining their housing plan to protect the incoming classes of Howard's immediate future. They're not even demanding the you know what I'm saying? Like, that is, I mean, you're not asking for much. And what's even wilder is, I guess it's back in 2006. Once again, Higher Learning Podcast, their producer went there and ended up leaving after like 2 semesters because he ended up taking photos that he put on Facebook at the time in one of the resident hall Facebook groups. Mm-hmm. Took pictures of, I guess, the urinals. Something had happened, and where I'm going to call it sludge for stomach purposes. Brown sludge oozed out of the toilet and covered the floor. He took photos of that and urinals. There's also a big old hole. There's like a Kool-Aid man-sized hole in one of the men's halls, and I guess there was like caution tape all around it, all that kind of stuff. He took photos and put it up in one of the resident hall Facebook groups, kind of saying, hey guys, here's what's happening. Something has happened. This is back in 2006 or 2007. And I guess the administration tried and attempted to scare him in to libel, saying that, oh, it's libel if he doesn't take it down, gave him an ultimatum, talked about, oh, your next semester you're going to be this. He ended up transferring campuses. Because they literally threatened him. Like,
so do you think this is gonna? So if that
God.
happened, then do you think this is gonna hurt Howard's image? Since this is, because I know you said this has been going on for a while, but it's gotten the most coverage and traction right now. So do you think this will hurt their image in the long run? Do you think we'll see less people going to?
I think it's gonna hurt if they don't do anything about it.
Yeah,
figure it out and figure it out now.
Yeah.
That's the only way Howard bounces back from this. But clearly people are still going because, like, look, people can still go make a check at Howard Homecoming. Like, I don't think I mean, I know people at Howard right now. Like, it's not hurting the prestige of the education, right? And it's not to say that the education loses any of its validity in this. This is an administration issue. This is a housing issue. This is not an issue with how reputable your doctoral degree across any discipline is from there. Right. I know the education is still top notch because at the end of the day, Howard is still putting out some of the best graduates compared to any other institution across this nation.
Oh, without a doubt. And my biggest thing is if I'm a Howard student who's not on a scholarship, not only do I have to pay for my classes and my books and parking and all that stuff, I got to pay for housing which is inadequate. So now I'm paying you for inadequate housing, and I can't make a complaint, or I can't post pictures on social media without you trying to make my next few semesters or years there hell. No, that's not gonna work for me. If I was a student at Howard, I would be transferring too. It's sad to say that because it's a HBCU, and we want to hype up our historically black colleges and put them on the map. But if that's how you're being treated there, then get out. There's other HBCUs out there.
It's not happening, man. It's just crazy. So shout out to the students that are organizing and mobilizing. Hashtag Blackburn Takeover. If you want to get in on the action and know how you can support these students that all there. I mean, I'm literally looking at it right now, dude.
These pictures, this absolutely is disgusting.
So y'all, we want to take a break. We gonna come back. We gonna come back with some fun. Finally. We're going to bring some light to your day as we do every single week. So thank you all again at Unfiltered Gems Podcast on all social platforms. Quick break. Capacity Dance Party is back. 11/11 means new beginnings for all my Angel Numbers fans. But yes, Capacity Dance Party is back and in Long Beach at a secret loft location. Only way in, CapacityDanceParty.com. Join myself, Malcolm Alexander, mixing and hosting alongside Pilot Jones, my girls Kaylin and Noma, M. Aurelius, and the legend DJ Dynamics. Tickets are $10, CapacityDanceParty.com if you want to get access in to the grooviest party around.
Unfiltered Gems Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Hale, my boy Malcolm. Speaking of you, Malcolm, looking over at you right now, you do look a little different from the start of the show. Had to take your do-rag off to
shut up, bro.
To speak serious, right?
I'm like,
it was like we was just talking about college. I was thinking about our days at our journalistic institution.
But think about it. Actually, the most insightful conversations happen when a brother really got his cap on. You know what I'm saying?
I know. That's how I was wondering why you took it off.
Like honestly, I really shouldn't have taken it off. That's like really like my do-rag is my Magneto helmet. You know what I'm saying? That's like you put the do-rag on, and actually the powers really, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the powers really like, I feel powerful when I have. You don't, you kind of feel like I be in it. But then I do forget that we are on video, reasons why people should subscribe on YouTube. That's how I do the plug. Of course, you're following us everywhere. You're listening wherever you want. But you guys, even if you're listening, go to YouTube, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, do all that YouTube stuff.
Mm-hmm. Share it.
Share it. Do that, y'all, because it really helps. And
do that.
Do that. We sincerely appreciate it. But yes, no, because we are recording, our show did take the do-rag off. And you know what I did like right before the weekend too? I retwisted myself on Thursday.
I was gonna ask you too. Why do you wear a do-rag with twists? Like I get, for me and everybody out there with fresh cuts and fades. Shout out to y'all holding it down. A lot of people don't have fades anymore, so No, I don't get why you wear do-rags though. For what? You have dreads and like why?
Because like I do styles like to twist my locks and keep them fresh. Like I wear a do-rag that way it can like maintain the style. If not, anything can happen when you're taking like especially when you have really nice braids and you want them to sit for like 2-3 weeks. I put a do-rag on just to take my shirt on and off.
Wow.
Very
specific.
Yes. Like no, I wear I mean I'm wearing do-rags actually in public a lot more. Like I think it depends on the style. If you have a certain certain colors, if they're silk, depending on it, and not for style, but like when I'm like showing up for gigs, like I want my hair to be laid. Like I want my hair to be laid when I put my suit on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I thought you said you wear it showing up.
No.
To the gig.
Oh no.
I was about to say.
No, but like I'm there. I'm there, 2-3 hours ahead of the guest arriving. When I'm setting up, I'm sweating. Things are hitting I'm going under trees sometimes. You do not want to have your hair exposed, especially like when it's laid. You don't want to have your hair exposed and come out all frizzy and the style's messed up. So yeah,
got you.
Lay it down, lay it back.
Okay. All right, that makes
sense. Put the
sense.
do-rag on.
Okay. I understand.
Last week, man, Alec Baldwin, Jesus,
very sad.
I also don't want to center him. I want to. There's a lot of people that are involved in this story. So it's what really happened on the set of Rust. And I want to know, Hale, how do you, your thoughts on what happened, in New Mexico?
Man, just very, very sad. First off, prayers and thoughts to, I think you pronounce her name, Haylana Hutchins, the cinematographer who was unfortunately tragically killed due to that incident. It's sad,
context
bro.
for people. Yeah. It's really sad. In context for people. So last week on the set of an upcoming film called Rust, a prop gun was fired by actor Alec Baldwin that ended up killing cinematographer Haylana Hutchins and injuring another one of the producers on set as well.
On set, yep. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's correct. It's very sad, obviously, but just being on sets and stuff like that, like lots of times the talent doesn't know everything that's going on behind the scenes. So it's just sad because it's like he was probably from the reports. It looks like he was told that this gun was just a prop gun. It was safe to use, only blanks in there or whatnot, and he fired it off, doing his part, and unfortunately, tragically killed her. So I think it's just sad, bro. I think there needs to be some better kind of system in place, so that they know exactly what props they're using, so that they've used it before, so they know how to properly use it. Because I don't know exactly what went down. Only they know. But it's just sad that had to happen because of what sounds like maybe a little bit of negligence, miscommunication, something like that.
Well, and unfortunately, it's not that we want to put blame at anybody, right? Because it's like,
right.
I think the reason I wanted to start even leaving Alec Baldwin out of this is because clearly this is not something that happened, intentionally.
Oh, exactly. And it's good that the Hutchins family came out. The father said that he doesn't place blame on him or anything like that.
Yeah, no. Like you can't, especially when you realize what happened. And when you look at the chain of command, there is one of the assistant directors, the ADs on the film, Dave Halls. He is the person who handed the gun to Alec Baldwin, and he called out, which is the call. I think it's supposed to be a cold gun or you say cold something. Right. To indicate that like it's not loaded or something like that, and saying that apparently it didn't have live rounds in it, but it did have live rounds in it. And Dave Halls, has had a history of negligence on set. He had already been reported on a previous production for his negligence and his miscommunication and what have you. So there is a movement right now within the film industry to make sure that no live rounds are used on sets.
Mm-hmm.
So if ways in which you want to support, you can do that with that movement, and I completely support that movement because I think we've seen, this was very reminiscent of Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee, who
long time ago,
who passed away from an explosive accident.
Yeah.
And I think it was supposed to be like I don't remember the whole story. I was very young when that happened.
Same.
But I do remember that, right? So we want to make sure that we're keeping sets safer. There's also just a movement right now where you saw a lot of strikes being threatened, right? If their needs are not met, because these working conditions for a lot of these sets, especially in a dare we even call it post-COVID?
Right.
Do we really even call it post-COVID? But these working conditions, especially in the climate of COVID and beyond, can be very unruly. So we have to make sure that we are putting safety and putting not just the actors, but really the people that are making these movies, the geniuses and the creatives and the blood, sweat, and tears of the producers and gaffers and people doing lighting and audio. Like there's Crafty. There's so many
different roles.
There's so many different roles. There's so much that goes into making a movie, and everyone deserves that safety and that love and that equity. So on to Alec Baldwin. We got to talk also a little bit what's going on in Philadelphia. Hale, you brought this story to us, man, and this is very, very wild, man. I'm wondering how much responsibility us as citizens have when something like this happens.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, in Philadelphia, I believe it was a few weeks ago, if not last week, there was an incident of sexual assault taking place on a train out in Philadelphia. 35-year-old man named Fiston Nagoy brutally raped a woman on the SEPTA train. However, the bigger story that has come out of it has been because of the bystanders who stood on the train, sat on the train, and filmed the sexual assault that was taking place. Afterwards, police called out those bystanders in a PR report, as well as in a press conference, talking about how they should be charged as well. A report came out last week saying how it's unlikely that they'll be charged, no matter how negligent or irresponsible that was. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to know your thoughts on filming, because I feel like we see this a lot in today's world, living in the social media age. Everybody wants to film every single thing, good or bad. And we see that a lot, especially in the Black community, of things being filmed, crimes being filmed specifically. So my question is, do you feel like people who film and have the opportunity to stop something, like, I'm not talking about a gunfight or anything like that, but in this case, a sexual assault, a rape, a kidnapping, something like that you have the opportunity to step in and potentially stop. Do you feel like if you instead are filming that, not trying to stop it, or just literally just watching it happen, watching it unfold, do you feel like you own some responsibility at that part, or those people who do that should be held responsible as well?
That's really complicated, man, because it's such a modern day question.
Literally.
It's such a modern day question.
You couldn't ask this question to our parents. Like, this is
not at all. You
Yeah.
couldn't even ask this to, like, gosh, man, like,
what, 20 years ago we couldn't. Yeah.
I mean, you really couldn't. I mean, this kind of question is very nuanced and has a lot of layers, because everyone has like a role to play. I think when something happens now, I think about places as how would a first responder respond, right? Like, if you see something happen, what's a chain of command to happen, right? So I see someone slip and have a knife accident in front of me. I see a crime happening in front of me, right? And what's the severity of the crime? There's I'm not Superman, right? So
Exactly.
Like there's a lot of things that it's like, okay, right? But the first thing is like, if I can't call 911, the first thing that we're taught, right, is like, hey, you, right, find somebody, look, hey, can you call 911 right now? You get 911 on the phone. Perfect, right? Then someone else can do something. Like, if I see something heinous happening, I don't know if my first thing is to tell somebody, or I don't know if my first thought is like, record it. It shouldn't be, right? But then it's like, but is that something safe? Like, I think right now we can all jump into like here's what I would do. It's very, very scary to think what anybody would do in this instant. So to people filming it, do I think they should be held accountable? I just think that's just weird as hell. to do to have my phone out. Like I just because it's imagining like holding a phone out and recording something so tragic.
Yeah, I guess in the report, lots of them didn't call the police either, which is crazy because your first thought is to pull your phone out and record instead of dialing 911.
Yeah,
whole nother topic. But for me,
as I said, like for me, it's like 911. I'm like,
right. For me, it's like you said, we're not Superman. We're not superheroes out here supposed to, we're not hired crime fighters. But
and I haven't seen this video. Like, how close are people? Are people close enough where they're within an arm's distance to like step in and do something? Or are they because you mentioned a train station, so are they watching from like a far
so
distance?
It happened on a train. So I'm guessing from what the police were saying, they had an opportunity to either step in or call the police or do something to help it not to escalate and get to the place that it took place. So my thing is, I don't understand why, like you mentioned, why are you filming something like this instead of first calling the police or trying to step in? And like you said, we're not hired to be crime fighters. We're not going to be able to stop everything like the George Floyd situation. Completely different. There is literally first responders, quote unquote, on the scene. So there's nothing you can do in that situation. Yeah. But a scene like this in a public train station where a sexual assault is happening to an innocent woman, there's ways that you can step in to stop that. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, at least call the police. I just always think about treat other people how you want to be treated. Like if that was me, if that was my sister, if that was my mom, I would want somebody to step in and at least say, what's going on? What are you doing? Bring attention to it. Yeah. Don't just pull your phone out and just be a blind eye like you're a private eye in the situation. You get what I'm saying? That doesn't help anybody.
No. And you would, and I think this is like a really good question to like, how does, again, community step in? Like I'm just really one for community, and it's like, what is the community's responsibility? It's like there are ways, like not everyone has to be the superhero. Not everyone has to physically step in, right? Yeah, someone can call 911. Like someone can step in. Someone can ask questions, right?
Right.
And
I know
we've
had conversations on a larger scale about like policing and community policing and things like that for the future, if we can get to that point. And that would be one of my questions if it ever got there, is like, what as a community are we going to do when situations like this happen? If there aren't no, like you said, first responders or whatnot, and since we're not crime fighters, like how are we going to step in to stop that? Because it can't just be us pulling out our phones and, oh, I got the evidence, I got the video. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be some kind of community responsibility.
But I mean, according to what you're saying, is like you said there was multiple people there, so it's like I wonder how again, like community, how did multiple people find it okay?
Exactly.
How did multiple people make it okay in this one instant to just simply be voyeurist? Like I think that's what's sicker to me about this. That's why it's just like I have very little words about it. It's just very weird because it's like 6 people made it very okay to just sit there and like, we're all just gonna watch, and not just watch, have our iPhone out in front of us. So it's like, this is, I think in this instance, those people should be held
responsible.
Held responsible.
So do I.
There is, from my subjective opinion of community, that's just irresponsible. I don't know how multiple people could sit there and just find it okay. And then I think, and I would still feel a type of way because again, there's a lot of things that happen and nothing's ever recorded, and people find a way to just let something like that happen,
right?
And can look at one another and say, and just keep it pushing and almost say it's none of my business.
Exactly.
I think in this instant, this is like one of those, you should be held like responsible. You should be held accountable. Like 6 people, 7 people, I don't know who all were there. I'm sorry if I do not know all the facts of this story, but it's like a group of people came together.
Right. It said multiple people were on the train. Yep.
Multiple people and made it okay.
Mm-hmm. No one called the police. It's just crazy, bro. I can't even.
And made it okay
like that. Yeah.
That's what's really scary to me here.
Because this could have happened to us in college. We rode the
light rail.
Yeah, the light rail all the time.
Yeah, man.
And saw a bunch of crazy stuff happen on there. Like, I can't imagine that happening and me not doing anything. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to step in and try to beat the guy up or try to hold him and, make a citizen's arrest. But I'm going to at least call the police. At least do something for an innocent woman who's fighting
for her life. And even if it's
life.
not calling the police, there are things that community can do.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that, like if multiple people agree on not letting something happen or not letting something be okay, you don't always need the police.
That's true. That's 100% true.
And that's not an anti-police statement. That's just simply saying
I totally agree.
If 8 people came together and agreed that this is not okay, you may not need the police. You might just be able to say,
especially in situations that are happening. Yep, especially situations that are happening that fast. Like from the report, it looked like the train ride was like 40 minutes, but during a 6 to 8 minute time span is when the actual sexual assault was taking place that these people were filming. So during that time period, it's happening so fast, you can call the police, but they may not be able to get there that quickly. So like you said, you may not even need the police if you're willing to step in and to put your phone down, put the camera down for a second, and do something. I mean, my God, bro. I can't.
Like I said, I don't know what it is, and I'm not making a case for even violence. Even though violence is being committed, my heart just really goes out to the
victim first off,
to the victim, to the survivor.
You're right.
Yes. We can't place ourselves there, and it's like I want to paint this narrative not around painting anyone as that, or even the terrible person that even committed this. It's just people also made it okay, and I think that's what's really sickening, and it's very scary because that also can be the world that we live in sometimes. So
sickening, right?
Yeah, man. They should. In this case, something's got to happen. Someone's got to be held responsible for it. It's not okay, and if there's more layers to it, then let's read up on it. Let's dive in. We'll maybe keep some eyes on this one. But
for sure.
Yeah, that's on that. Adam Filter Gems podcast everywhere. I'm Malcolm Alexander.
And I am Ryan Hale. We're going to take a quick break. And this time we will really be back with some fun. Malcolm lied to you guys last time. We're going to be back with some real fun this time. Stay tuned. Do you like incredible musical performances and engaging conversations? Well, we've got both of those things for you right here at Mental Notes Live, the talk show focused on giving you tools to grow your faith, mindset, and progress. Hosted by yours truly, Ryan Hale. Be sure to follow us everywhere on any social media platform at Mental Notes Live, and go catch up on all of our previous episodes by visiting mentalnoteslive.com. This person, Malcolm, is not new. It's not a new talking point, should I say, to Unfiltered. We talked about her a while back for her VMA performance, talking about
last
Chloe
name
Bailey.
Extra, first name oop.
You stupid.
I love her though. No,
I'm
a stan.
Big fan.
I think her. I think she's great. Her autonomy, I finally understand Have Mercy. Still a little too extra for me on the performance side.
Yeah,
but
very extra. But
it hit on leg day. The song really hit on leg day, and I was like,
and she could sing her behind off being aggressive.
Yeah, man. No, they're great. They're great.
Very
yeah, she's great. Sure.
Yeah. But she does IG lives all the time. She's always engaging with her Twitter followers and everything like that. Most recently, she made a comment in an interview talking about how she doesn't like when a guy that she's dating, talking to, answers the phone every time that she calls. She said that she wants to be left wondering what you're doing. She said that it was kind of taken out of context, so she made a tweet about it and said that what she meant is that if someone was really on their grind, working hard on themselves, they won't always be available, because I'm not. Of course, I want you to answer my calls and respond and be all up under me, but it's also sexy to know someone is working towards something great and is busy too. So
she didn't need to clarify.
Oh,
I mean, at least to me, I understood that from the jump. From the jump.
Wow.
But what? That's really the problem with this generation, or the I don't know if it's these children.
Oh, talk to us, Uncle Malcolm. Talk to us.
No, okay, all right. Now I gotta talk, man. Look. I don't know where we need such immediate and instant gratification from a partner. Just like when we talked about in the last segment, when it comes to closeness of video, right? Even with Julius Jones, this is the most changing thing we have. Talk about a phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the past decade, let alone 20 years. It's my relationship with texting is not exactly immediate. If I text anybody, I'm not exactly expecting the most immediate response.
Mm-hmm.
unless it is something of like, hey, what's your ETA or when are you going to be? There's certain questions that I am that might need
that are more urgent than others.
That are more urgent. But if I really need you, I'm going to call. And I have met people, and I've met younger people in my life now who are just like, I call and are like, why are you calling? Or you call? Yes, I call. If I need something, I get you on the phone and hello, hey, what time you coming over? Okay, good. I'm making this. Oh, you don't like that? Okay, great, cool. Like, I want information. I want to get information real quick. Boom, done. So I don't want to turn this into like a TED talk or a dissertation. I just don't understand why people need such like an immediate response. That's like that's really my whole thing. And so yes, it's dope. Like, cause I'm the same. I'm like, oh, I think it's so sexy when it's like you're busy. Like, I like someone who's busy. Like, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's great. Like, cause I'm also not some. I ain't got to be texting nobody all day.
Facts. And I've gotten better with that, actually. When I was younger and I first started dating, I was the type of person that, I'll be honest, I was the type of person that when I text, let's have a conversation. Like, I want to have a back and forth conversation right away. That was young. That was young Ryan. That was young Ryan. Goodness, you saying no that this is current me?
No. I know that's not current you. If that's current
now
you,
I'm not. Yeah, no.
Oh man.
No, I am the same way. Like, I don't need an immediate response unless it's something urgent. And if it's something super urgent, then like you said, I'm just gonna call you too. So I guess for me though, it's like I'm on both sides of the fence on this one. Like, if my girl would call me and I'm not picking up, like, okay, I get that. And this might be wrong. I think it's like more of a double standard. But when I call you, I want you to pick up. I want you to pick up. What you doing? No, I'm calling, but I understand what you're saying. Like, that is attractive, especially if you know they're on their grind too. Like, that's attractive.
I'm so weak. I was like, see, this is why you love Certified Lover Boy as like your favorite album of the year. That's why. Like,
I'm clouding.
If you busy, be busy.
Pick up.
I love that. Pick up. You ain't doing nothing. Like, yes, you are doing something. Oh my! You ain't doing nothing. Like, what was that? You ain't doing that. You ain't doing the ultimate. That's the ultimate. Like, when you know a nigga flirt. You ain't doing.
You ain't doing nothing.
You ain't doing that. What you doing?
No, I am totally kind of like, no, if a girl can't pick up and she's on her grind, like, that's
great.
Very attractive to me. I love a girl that's grinding too. So no, I feel what she was saying. I'm glad that she clarified her comments, only because, you know, we live in an age where people can take your words out of context so easily. So
she doesn't need to do all that, man. Like the kids got mad at that. Like, grown folk, no one got mad at that. Grown folk are like, yeah, because like who be texting all day? Yeah, like it just. But
and if you are texting, well, that's a different conversation. People
look, I was gonna say exactly. It's this gets deeper into like a dating conversation. So
right.
I definitely don't think we have to take it into that today. I know people probably love to hear us talk about dating, so we'll have
in the future. We may say something
in the future. I just think like it's a subjective opinion of dating. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm curious to know like who does like need to text like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't meet people that like. I just feel like the older you get, the more you're like, okay, I really ain't gotta like text you all the time. Like, we ain't got nothing to talk about. You know,
and I think that comes with maturity too. Like I said, because when I was younger,
my gosh,
I was like, but that's when you don't have a lot to do. When you bored and you young, you ain't really doing nothing, and you know what I'm saying?
I just
maybe.
I've never known them.
There's some old folks that's probably like that too. So,
no, and there definitely is. There definitely is, because I hear. I'm lucky enough now. I feel like I'm at the age where it's like, friends don't really have an age. It's just like I got friends that like, but I got friends that like that are older than me.
I know you be kicking it with them senior citizens.
Shut up.
Meeting up for Jello.
Wow, you are mean. Okay, that's ageism, and it's just wrong. That's the real conversation, Al. We need to talk about the toxicity in your ageism, sir. Even old people like. I don't want. I hate to say it like that, but yes, like, people got this texting problem. Like, you don't need to be texting your people that frequently, and if you need something from me that like efficiently, then yes, you need to call me real quick, have me on the phone, or like I'll stay up and I'll talk for a minute, especially if we dating and doing the thing, you know. But I'm all about, I hate texting a lot or having like novel conversations, because then I'm like, then we get together and we just sit here staring at each other like, Like I ain't talk about all the things that I like. I would have asked
tough.
if I was in front of you. Like maybe I come to dates with questions. I'm ready to like you know and I'm and mind you right
Facts.
like I'm in media like we do this, so it's like maybe me wanting to have a face-to-face conversation with you was very different. I'm not really into texting, so
Right.
like this I am maybe
Speaking of that, and speaking of us being in media and dating, I went on a date one time, and like you said, I come ready with questions. You know what I mean? Let's have a real conversation.
Yes.
And she had already told me she was shy and stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool. I can lead the conversation. Let's talk, get to know each other. So I was asking her questions, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I just feel like you're interviewing me. And I'm like, huh? Oh, you can't. This is the first and last date. Check, please. Yeah, go ahead, bring that over here. That was it.
You ended it that quickly?
I didn't do that, but there was no next date. Like if you can't have a conversation and tell about yourself, there's nothing.
You know, hell. But also, I mean, now I don't want to. I mean, we're talking about Chloe here. However, I think the real story, the real question, the real pivot, if you will, might be in the fact that you are a big personality, and you could be seen as maybe a little overzealous. I'm just saying, like potentially. Do you think? Like I've been told I have a very big personality. I'm just saying, do you think that perhaps you could just be a little, as the children might say, intimidating? Do you think that you could come up? You're a nice man. I'm not saying that you're not a nice guy, but bro, you think that you might have been?
The only reason I don't,
she might have been. She might have went back and been like, yeah, man, he just talked about himself for like a whole hour.
That's the thing. I never talk about myself on first dates purposely. Like I ask questions.
Right. Same.
So then I know that's not the truth.
I know that's not the truth. Like,
yeah.
Same though. I'm just like, cool. So yeah.
Exactly. So that's all I was doing. And the only reason why I would say no to that is because I've done this on multiple other first dates and got different responses. So that's how I know it's just a one-off, which is fine.
Okay.
My friend told me the other day that dating is just like an open house sometimes. I mean, when the right person comes around, they're just going to stay. So maybe not the best analogy, but you get where I'm going.
So you know what else isn't the best analogy for dating? And you know what other frustrating analogy for dating? We got to take it into our, well, instead of no filter, that's my segue. Instead of no filter, y'all, we got to talk about our favorite show, which is finally back, and we have to have our Insecure segment. I don't know what we gonna call this yet.
We don't have a jingle ready.
Yeah, we ain't have a jingle ready or a name yet. So hey, to our listeners at Unfiltered Gems Podcast, if y'all got a good name for our little Insecure segment, let us know. But yeah, last night, man, the premiere episode, season 5, episode 1. The gang find themselves.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, big. Yeah. Hold up. Don't have an alert. Yeah. Like. Oh no. Okay. And be careful. Be careful with all the stuff because the AKA is already mad.
Yeah,
so
they already
gonna
mad.
get
We don't want to get nobody else mad. You're right.
There's already controversy over the episode.
Controversy.
There's already controversy. The AKAs are mad at Amanda Seales. And Amanda Seales is not new to having people mad at her, so I love it. She's just handling it like a G. But they're mad at her because, yes. So the gang finds themselves going back to Stanford for their 10-year reunion.
Yep.
Issa is speaking on a panel. While there, Molly has a chance to reconnect in the lightest way possible with an old friends with benefits by the name of Omari. And by the end of the episode, we find Lawrence picking Issa up from the airport only for when they get back home.
Don't take me through it again. Oh, man. Don't make me go through it again.
I don't want to say it. Hold on. I need the producer to cover. Sarah, I need you to cover your ears. Don't listen to this. Thank you.
Oh, man.
And, well, what happens? We come back, and Issa decides to end things with... Sarah, cover your ears. Sarah... Lawrence or Issa decides to end things with Lawrence. All right. You're good. So with that happening, These are a lot of questions. And guys, we're only playing coy with our producer because she's like rapidly running through the show right now. She's only on season 2. So by the time you hear the next episode, I'm sure she'll be fully caught up. I think that's what she's watching. She must be. That's her assignment. That's all Sarah has to do. However, yeah, man, it raised a lot of questions, y'all. I want to know, one, how everyone's feeling about the episode, but I am more mad at the fact that throughout the whole episode, we do see Molly and Issa trying to get back together.
Oh, you're mad, huh?
Effort.
You know, it's the perfect time.
And I'm mad about it. I'm mad about it. I'm mad about it. I'm mad.
This is the perfect time for me to shout out all my prayer warriors, my intercessors, my saints, my churchgoers. Prayer is real. Jesus is real. We did it. They are on the up and up.
No. Okay, look, and I hope, and I'm sorry, I hope they don't.
The
last.
trajectory
I
is
really
up.
don't. I know, no.
Friendship is real.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not.
Molly
like,
was
not
really
healthy.
trying too. That's the first time.
But you already saw how the self-saboteur was coming. You already saw.
Was.
You think with Amari? Yeah, like she is still her.
Yeah, she's not gonna change.
And it's annoying. And if her silly ass go for Amari, I'll break the HBO Max app.
You know, I think she is though.
I'll call my girl Karen Civil and have her hack the HBO Max app and bring the whole operation down.
You're stupid. Bro, no,
I will.
I think that's really gonna happen though. I think she is gonna go for Amari. I think she's gonna give him a shot.
And then I'm Team Amari because Team Amari gonna play her like a cheap fiddle. She is. He is. Watch it happen.
Molly, she just doesn't make
the association already. He's like, yeah, because we used to be a booty call, and he literally hit you with like, he has fuckboy written all over him, and he already got her tripping, and she quick to call Issa a dumb bitch. Oh, stop.
Listen, Malcolm, the past is the past with Molly and Issa, okay? They're trying to
it's not the past.
No,
Molly,
they're trying to get over this. That is the past. The present, they're presently moving forward. So that is the past, technically.
I'm frustrated already. I'm frustrated already with the season.
Bro, I loved the star of yesterday's show was Kelly. Man, I mean,
oh my God. So
hilarious.
I didn't even get into talking about who, quite frankly, Kelly died.
They killed off Kelly.
They killed Kelly.
And the nice thing they said was she had the best steaky leg.
I was going to say, that was the episode. That's all I was going to say. She had the best steaky leg. Oh, my God.
Gosh, that was hilarious.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I really enjoyed the show. Man, I'm so sad about Issa and Lawrence. But I'm still holding out hope like I did for Issa and Molly. I'm going to still hold out hope.
You're holding out hope for Issa? Really?
The hope for them is a lot less. I will say that.
Do you want them to work out?
I wanted them to work out so bad before the Condola situation. Right now, it's hard.
You don't think the Condola situation is a deal breaker?
Yes.
That's what we're going to refer to it as, the Condola situation. We don't think the Condola situation is a deal breaker. That's a deal breaker.
For me, it would be a deal breaker. Yes, but
what's the but?
Lawrence and Issa have been together so long, and they've been doing this back and forth.
Same argument as Molly. No.
It's not the same out.
Nope. Issa
is still love Lawrence. She's still in love with Lawrence.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. That's cool. That's nice. What's love got to do with it?
You saying that she just need to move on?
Tina, where Tina Turner at? Tina. What's love got to do with it? What's love got to do with it?
I hear you. And I know it's probably a little hypocritical because I'm saying for me it would be a deal breaker. And I get Issa's stance, but it's just like maybe the
you don't want these characters to grow, and it's fine. It's
the
showing.
Team Lawrence in me wants them just to work out because
I understand. Like I'm Team Lawrence, and I want Lawrence to get his happiness. I want Lawrence to truly be happy. I think that's gonna? I think he's gonna have to be. I think he's gonna have to be. I think he's gonna have to be. And that's the team I'm on. That's the team I'm on. I'm still Team Lawrence, y'all. I don't know if I'm Team Lawrence and Issa, but I'm Team Lawrence. Okay.
Something just tells me, bro, that this season is about to shake all of our.
Well, I mean, the way the episode ended with hard body, with the
I keep calling her hard body
with the double cross. Oh, hard body with the double cross. I did not see that coming.
I didn't see that coming either, but there were some red flags. I mean, old girl broke into the 10 class reunion. I mean, give me a break. Because she never graduated, I guess.
Oh, shit. She sure did. She did say she did that.
Mm-hmm. So there were some red flags there. I did not expect that at all.
I just was not expecting that. Not a one bit. Yeah. But I love that trauma can bring Molly and Issa together. I love that was the Trojan horse they needed.
Man, you're really hating on this friendship.
No, I'm not hating on it. I'm just, look, y'all, I don't want to see just toxicity grow amongst characters. I don't. I want to see healing. I want to see healing. And Molly is still a chicken head, and that's on Montero. Thank y'all. It's been Unfiltered Gems Podcast. My name.
Wow. Molly, I still got love for you, Molly. I really hope this is the season of your
I'm
breakthrough.
Team Molly. This is the finale season, right? So I think to save my emotions, I want everybody
to be happy,
heal.
Yes.
I want everyone to heal, and I don't know if that's gonna mean like the whole band staying together. I don't know if that's gonna mean the audience, us getting everything that we want. I am literally here for like, maybe let's build season 5 as like everybody going off and doing like.
Well, I don't think that we're gonna get everything we want. Just by how the show has been written and how we've seen everything. We're not. So we're not gonna get a Lawrence and an Issa reunion and a Molly and an Issa. We might get one or the other, but I don't see us getting all of that, which is fine. I'll have to take what I can get. I'm rooting for them both though. Man, this hurts.
Oh, okay. That's the Insecure rap, y'all. Again, we want names for it. You know, I want a clever name. I don't know. We call like maybe like this is the Dune Squad or something. I'll get like you see where I'm at. You know,
I see where you're going.
Yeah, you see where I'm going. You know, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get down to it. Thank y'all again so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe on every platform wherever you're listening. Leave a comment on Apple. Of course, YouTube, where you're watching us as well. Yo, we appreciate that shit.
Absolutely, we do. And make sure to follow us everywhere on all of your favorite social media platforms at Unfiltered Gems Podcast.
I'm Malcolm Alexander.
And I am Ryan Hale. We'll see y'all next week.